Hello, AfterBuzzers. You guys do not want to miss this episode. Stay tuned. We've got drama, and finally, someone goes home.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
All right, stop, collaborate and listen. I sit back with my brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly.
Love it. I just want to dance to this song all night.
All night long. Keep it going for the full time.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to AfterBuzz TV. You are watching The Challenge, season 28, episode 7, and we've got it all for you. So thank you for tuning in. My name is Paulina Aguilar, and you guys can find me on Twitter at _Paulina Aguilar and on Instagram at Paulina M. Aguilar. And today, I've got my lovely co-host.
You can find me at Jade A. Hanson, both on Instagram and on Twitter. Paulina, I'm so excited to see things finally getting back to normal with the regular rhythm of the way this show is supposed to be going.
Overall, what do you think about this episode?
I thought it was good. I liked the challenge. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was a lot about luck, honestly. You had to have some skill, but it was good. I was happy to see a challenge happen and then a jungle at the end. So that's finally is what we've been waiting for.
Right? Finally, someone is going home, as they should be.
Yes.
Okay, now we're starting off with, they're all out at the club. We've got Tony and Camilla. And Tony is a little bit upset. Do you think he has a right to be upset at Camilla?
I think you're rivals, so you're probably not going to get the relationship that you want. I think it would be kind of hard to deal with attitude that he feels like he's getting from her constantly from your partner. I've seen a lot of, couples come together and kind of start to really form real teams and real friendships kind of through this experience. I think he probably wants to be at that point. He sees teams like Corey and Ashley who really have each other's backs. They've kind of overcome what they had against each other. So I think to a certain extent, yes. I don't think you need someone telling you all the time, you're doing such a great job, but I think it would, help him play better if that's what he needs.
Yes, but I think as a partner, you need to support your partner. I think Camilla is very independent as far as I can pull my own weight. I can help my partner physically in a challenge, but I think for some people, they need that whole mental state of, yes, my partner does have my back. And I think that's what Tony needs. And he's telling her straight up, hey, I need you to respect me a little bit more. And she's just not about it. I mean, come on, Camilla, give him a little bit.
He needs a little bit.
And if that's what he needs for your partner to do better and get that money, so be it. You can do what what's his face did and lie to her.
Johnny, the whole time, Johnny to Jessica.
Who cares?
I know. I'm like, just don't turn into a Jessica though, where you're begging for it all the time.
No, but so now Devin and Jamie. Devin is just belligerently drunk. Okay, this argument I think got a little bit too serious as far as like the him and Corey situation. It's like, just let him be drunk.
He does it so intentionally. He does it so well. I appreciate Devin because I think he can rile anyone up. Like, I love watching him.
He's doing a good job
He's doing a great job. Exactly. So, I think it's funny, honestly.
And he knows what he's doing, and it's all mental. And I think that the vets, or not even vets, but Jamie and Corey, I think they should kind of know better as far as, like, you don't let them get into your head. That's the mentality part of this whole thing. And Devin, I don't know. I've learned from experience you don't try to make sense or reason with someone who's under the influence because they're just going to forget, or the next day you wait till they're sober and then you can chat about them. If not, let them run their mouth. You're at a club, you're at a bar, just go out and have fun and let him be drunk. Exactly. He's the one that's going to act like a fool.
You mentioning that, I've been surprised as to how many vets have kind of engaged in that drunken, like, fighting. We saw Vinny do it. A lot of them have done it this season. So just get smarter. Like, play the game. Don't get sent home. Exactly. Be smarter about it.
And then we see Corey and Devin, and Cheyenne gets upset. So we see all that go down. That continues over at the house. Now moving on to Camilla and Tony again in the kitchen, and Tony throws a tantrum.
Little hit.
Again, tantrum. Is it? I mean, like we said before, it's not that big of a deal, I don't think.
It's not worth smashing the egg carton, is what that looked like to me, and throwing it across the kitchen.
Not at all.
It was definitely entertaining.
Yes.
But I liked how, like Camilla was being, like, a little sass about it. I thought it was funny, but, like, good for not engaging him and just getting him out of there, because it probably could have escalated further. He was so irritated.
Now, the next morning, we see Camilla, who finds out she loses her grandmother, and our condolences from me, myself, and Jade, and from here at AfterBuzz TV to your family. Our condolences to you. It's, it's unfortunate and it's sad to see, but we're glad that you were able to pull through that on the show and be strong for it. We had her, for those who don't know, we had her on the show the very first episode. So we've gotten to know Camilla. So again, our condolences to you.
Absolutely. It was really hard to watch. I was getting like a little teared up in the eyes just watching her break down from it. So yeah, definitely happy she stayed because I want to see how she does throughout the rest of the game.
Exactly. So now we get to the good part. Road to Nowhere is the name of this challenge, where basically your partner drives the cart down a cliff. And if you've ever wanted to push someone down a cliff, well, this is your chance, because I would love this challenge. And I've got a few people on my hit list. So the other person pushes you, and the object of this game is to grab as many flags as you can, and every color of the flag is worth a different amount of points. How would you do in this game? You personally.
Like I said in the beginning, strategy-wise, I think, I don't know how I do. I think it's all about luck, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I think you can go in with the strategy of where you want to grab, but I think that, it's so easy to miss. It's just like you got to hit it right on, like a lot of people grabbed the poles and brought those down. I do think, though, I don't remember which guy it was. I think it was Dario who grabbed both of the green flags. And I was like, why would no one else do this? Because you're going to fall anyways. You're falling forward to just go for both of them.
Right. Well, I think you also have to keep your balance, because if you get your feet on the floor and you grab a flag, it doesn't count, as what we saw. Now, would you be the driver or the pusher?
I think in watching it back, they started out with all girls being the driver. I think driving looked hard. Honestly, what about you? I think it's tough. If you done a paddle boat, you got to kind of get used to it. They don't get practice rounds.
I pride myself on being a pretty good driver. I've been driving for a very long time. But I do have a story like Ashley. She crashed into a house. Well, I didn't crash into a house.
Oh, no.
Okay, I did not crash into a house. I didn't have my license. I was 13 years old, and my grandfather said, "Hey, Paulina, let's drive me to the store." Yeah, sure, no problem. So thinking I'm pro, sitting back with my hand up on the wheel at 12, my arm on the side. I'm going back and I'm using my mirrors because I'm a professional driver. And the patio, I went boom, and I crashed into the pole. And luckily, it didn't break completely. It cracked only a little bit. So the patio, the roof of it only tilted a little bit. And I laughed.
Oh, no.
I wasn't even scared.
Laughed.
And my grandfather is a pretty harsh guy. And I laughed and I covered my mouth and I was like, in the back of my head, I'm dying of laughter. And he just looks at me and he's like, park it, put it back. And he still let me drive. Like, he didn't let me drive to the store, but he let me park the car again. And then for the longest time, that post wasn't not painted to match the rest of the house for the longest time. Yeah,
I would be like, Paulina, not until you go through driver's ed. No more.
Well, I mean,
more
than 10 years later, I've gotten a lot better at it, okay? Let's just say. But yeah, I totally would have been driving. So in the beginning, most of these teams got 5 points. I mean, it looks pretty hard. It doesn't seem like they're going very fast, though.
I think it was definitely smarter to go slower. I mean, you're gonna fall off.
Exactly.
No matter how fast you're going. So the slower you go, the slower, the more time you have to kind of grab and figure out where you're going. So yeah, and they figured that out. Wes and Nani went first, and they said slow and steady from the beginning, so they kind of set the pace. I had kind of wished that someone who doesn't know how to strategize went first, because we see that happen a lot where they don't do the best practice first.
And you just study off of them. Well, most of the teams got 5 points, and a lot of them, but like Nandis and Sarah, Cheyenne, and Devin, they each got 15, which I thought they did pretty. I mean, it looks hard, so I thought they did pretty well. But Nate and Christina end up winning this challenge, and I must say, it looked like an accident.
I stumbled right into a victory.
I don't consider them being the most athletic. I don't consider them being the smartest to strategize. So, the way that they tumbled forward, it looked like they grabbed it on accident. And you can call it, like you said, dumb luck.
That's what I think totally happened.
And honestly, I would say it's karma, too, from the last episode when they lost their number. And now they won a challenge and they got the flags that they needed.
Okay, so about the last episode, I do agree to some extent you shouldn't have dropped your token. But yes, they couldn't have made that up.
We'll get to that.
I know, so making it up somewhat, but yeah, I was definitely surprised they won. I didn't think I would see them win a challenge the entire season. I thought they would go home probably first.
Not at all. So then we see Kellyanne and Jamie don't do very well, which I thought they were going to do pretty good, but it seemed like they rushed it a little bit. They didn't have a lot of communication between each other.
No.
They weren't on the same page, and they just looked frustrated. And I think that's kind of what made them tip over.
Kellyanne was having a hard time with the steering too. I watched it back again, and no matter what would have happened if Jamie would have just kept on, he wasn't going to be able to reach any of the flags at the end anyways. They weren't going off the end. They were completely going off the side. So, yeah, I think Kellyanne probably kind of dropped the ball on that one. She just couldn't maneuver the little ropes correctly. But, yeah, tough to watch.
I forgot to mention this before this challenge, and I know I'm not the only one because I know you guys probably thought about it too, was when we saw this challenge of going off the cliff, I thought they were going into water. Am I the only one that thought that?
Okay, so
No?
they never go into water, really. There are some where they fall down. My thinking, though, is if you see it go off a cliff, there's going to be rocks that are close by. They did preview it like they were going to go into water, but for safety reasons, especially when they mentioned it was 400 feet in the air.
I wouldn't know how far that is unless I looked at the cliff.
That's a long ways to go.
I would assume so, but still, at least make it fun. I don't know. They always repel.
It would have been better if they went in the water.
I guess I stand alone on that one. Okay, but moving.
I thought though some of the tumbles they took even off, like Jenna and Vinny's looked.
Oh, they flipped up on
it
each
looked
other?
tough on their necks. Yeah. So even without going into the water, I thought there were some elements that it did not look comfortable.
Well, what was not comfortable was that sit down with Nate and Christina as they pull all of the teams in for the dinner. Okay, now let's just get to the elephant of the room with Tony and Camilla. Do you think they made a dumb mistake by not throwing them in?
1000% yes.
They sat with them, and what boils my blood, I guess boils my blood, is that Camilla doesn't apologize, and Tony is right, is that she never took ownership of taking the number. Hey, I'm sorry I took it. I didn't know. She just thought it was unfair.
We talked about I feel like maybe they edited this to look like Camilla was being really combative. I thought her attitude when she was sitting at the table definitely wasn't good. Like, she didn't seem very apologetic, but I think probably something was said before that.
You really think so?
I do, because the way they cut it together made it just seem like she was going in and going in and going in. And I don't know, if you're stupid, like, and you want to go in, that's what you do. You just go ham on the person who's got the, choice to pick. But finally says she's sorry, so.
And maybe. I don't see it that way, but that could be true. That could be a production move. So they end up throwing Amanda and Nelson and Devin and Cheyenne, and Amanda told her straight up, do not put us in because of the whole rivalry of Are You the One and the real world.
They're the worst strategizers.
That was a dumb mistake.
It was absolutely a dumb mistake.
If someone took my number or manipulated I don't care if it was on purpose or not. Yes, I want an apology, but your butt is going in.
Even past that incident, like, why are you throwing Are You the One teams? They picked 2 other Are You the One teams to go. Like, are you kidding me? You guys, out of anyone, are going to have each other's backs. The vets are going to go for you every time.
But I never saw Christina on the boat of, yes, we are team Are You the One. I think she kind of just went with the flow and went with whoever gave her the best deal.
Well, she's not. That's what I'm saying. She's not intelligent. No, because literally sending home another Are You the One team makes you another one coming up on the chopping block for the rest of the vets. So.
And like I said before, they're not that athletic, and I don't see them going far at all. I'm surprised they made it to the halfway point, to be honest.
So you could have used that support of the other Are You the Ones rather than Tony and Camilla, who, by the way, when they walked out of the conversation with you, said, I'm going to turn on them so fast if they throw us in. So clearly they don't have your back.
And Camilla had the nerve to go back to Christina later in this episode and tell them not to throw them in.
Like, they're playing you like a puppet.
She made the speech. The vet speech to save your butt.
Exactly. I just don't know how you get played that easily. And can you refresh me on how Camilla and Christina are so tight?
When did that
happen?
I can't recall because Christina is new. She came on last season, went home in the very beginning, so I never saw a moment of them bonding.
Well, yeah, and it's super strong.
Or being friends. I mean, we don't know the friendship outside of the show, so that could be something different.
Okay.
But moving on to the best part was the actual jungle. Finally, someone gets to go home because the fact that everyone stayed last episode was just ridiculous. Let's be real. So this one is the ice bath, where they spend a minute in an ice bath and spend 2 minutes building blocks to meet align.
Can we talk about the skulls, though, that finally someone picked black? I swear they
They
probably
picked
put
black
all black
first.
skulls in that box, because every single time it's been black last, which I don't know how that's happened, but I was so happy to finally see a black. I was actually happy to see Amanda and Nelson out of the two teams go into, because I thought it would be a better competition, but when they unveil what the actual competition is, it's not like it's physical. So
No, and I like this one. We haven't seen something like this before. And have you ever done an ice bath?
I haven't. No, have you?
I want to say I have. You would think it's something I would remember, but I want to say I did that like during my freshman year of high school after soccer practice or something like that, like cooling down. I don't know. I don't remember, but it does not look like a fun time at all.
Well, I'm from Michigan, and every time it gets over 40 degrees, it's always who can jump in the lake first. So I know what it's like to go in really cold
you've
water.
done that?
Heck yes. I live on a lake, so every time.
So is that like a winter thing?
That's
that you
a
guys
thing,
just
yeah.
do?
I mean, we wear shorts when it's like 45 degrees the
Oh
first
my
day of
God.
spring. Yeah, no. So I like, and being in cold water is like not fun. I wasn't even in an ice bath, so it's hard. Like it's your whole body like stings. I couldn't take it. That
So
wouldn't be
here
one
in
I was
LA,
good at.
when it's like 55 degrees, is it like hot for you?
It
Because I'm
feels-
freezing
it
my
feels
butt
good.
off.
I feel like in being here a few months, though, I've completely become a pansy, and now like I wear jeans every day, like I have a coat with me at all times. So you change really quickly.
No, this is sunny California. You wear shorts and sandals with a t-shirt and a
haven't-
baseball cap. Don't you live by the beach?
I don't. I live on the other side, but I
I
go
see,
to the
I
beach
see.
frequently, and I still dress pretty warm. So
Guys, thank you for tuning in. We love to hear what you have to say, so don't forget to tweet us. And I've got the live chat going, so send me some of your questions, and I will try my best to bring some up today before we finish this episode. So back to the jungle. Kellyanne and Jamie, they build these blocks. What would be your strategy in doing that and building that up? Because every
Well-
time we've seen them build it, it didn't look high enough.
the strategy Amanda and Nelson started out with put it on other sides. It looked really bad to start off with. So that one I knew wasn't going to work. I don't know. I think I would have gone with triangles. I wouldn't have had the mentality to flip it on the side like they eventually ended up doing.
Yeah.
So that was smart. But yeah, what would you have done?
I wouldn't have gotten that right away. I
No.
definitely would have played with it, but you only have 2 minutes, and you know you're not going to get it on the first try. So I would have been open to suggestions, honestly,
Right?
and I would have
that's what
done.
they did.
Yeah, and I would have done what Kellyanne did and looked over, and that's what Johnny yelled. Look at what they're doing and see them. I'm like, yeah, now it makes sense.
I don't know if it's because they were so cold, but when they kept hopping in the ice baths, I was surprised they weren't having more conversations and strategizing. Like, it seemed like they just got in there and were silent. If it was me, I would, like, get as close as I could with my partner, console the body heat and, like,
You,
talk
Nate, and
about
Christina?
what we can do. Yeah. So, I don't know. It was interesting, though, and I felt like Devin, surprisingly, was giving a lot of the good pointers.
and I remember this, and I was telling Jade earlier, was that he's an idiot, don't get me wrong, but he's smart. Okay, you see him explaining, get the cylinder, get the base, and this and that. And if you remember from Are You the One, when he's the one that won the money for everybody because he figured out who was with who and did basically all the ratios and probability of it. So he's pretty good at geometry.
He's got some strategy in
Yeah.
there. I think if
No,
he
he's
gets
smart. He
into a
knows what he's
challenge
doing.
like this, he could be dangerous. I was totally shocked though. I kind of forgot about that from Are You the One? So
Yeah.
when he was shouting it out, I thought maybe he was doing it to try and get them sent home. So
No,
it worked out well.
I think he's right. He said himself, he is an underdog, but I have my eye on him because he's smart. He knows how to strategically play this game. And he kind of
Absolutely.
reminds me of a little bit of Wes, troublemaker, problem
He's
starter.
Totally a troublemaker.
So they end up making it. Now, Kellyanne and Jamie win, and everybody on the chat is saying that they cheated. Do you think that they cheated?
How did they cheat?
Because they're saying that they looked over
Copied?
to...
That's
yeah.
not cheating. I was disappointed by what happened. I think honestly that's a fault of the producers. I think it would be better if you put up like a wall in the middle so you can't copy each other, because then that's really relying on your own strategy. But part of this game is like being cheap. They do it every challenge. They look at who goes first and then do it that way. So it's just part of the game.
And I think if it was a puzzle, we've seen them in other challenges where they completely cover everything so that you can't see.
I would have liked that better, because I think that Amanda and Nelson definitely had it figured out more quickly, and Jamie and Kellyanne
did.
just mooched off of them, but it's not cheating.
I think they rushed it too. I think the little pods were a little bit too high to stay steady, and it looked like they had made it. I don't know.
I
It
thought
must
they
have
were
been
right
perception.
below.
Because
I didn't think it looked like they were all the way up to the red. I thought they were right below it. But Jamie and Kellyanne's definitely, I could tell they were even. So I don't know.
did you want them to win though?
Jamie and Kellyanne?
Yeah.
No. I think she's weird, man. Like, pee in the bathtub with me? Who does that? You gotta walk around with pee all over you until you get back to the house.
I would want someone to pee on me if I got a jellyfish sting. But if you're gonna pee in something like that, don't tell me. I don't want to know.
She was totally fine with it. Like, whatever. Like, I get that it warms up the bathtub, but, like, I don't.
But, I mean, it's a really smart strategy to use if you're freezing and it's worth, like, $250,000. I mean.
I feel like I wouldn't spread that far, though. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the warmth gets kept in one little area.
You're too much. I don't want to know. I don't know.
I wouldn't be cool with it. That was one thing that I thought was totally weird.
So that would be the end of the jungle. And now let's get into some previews before we get into a couple of your questions.
Yes.
Previews.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Alrighty, so we see a lot of fights. We
A lot
see
of fights.
Someone
Some cool
on fire.
challenges. Ooh,
Fights are
yeah.
my favorite. And, well, okay, what are your preview? What are your thoughts?
Okay, so obviously the big twist. Let's just start off with that they mentioned where you can either, I think it's choose you.
Yes, I was saving that one. You beat me to it.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll start off with the big one.
Which, by the way, they haven't done yet at all in challenge history.
They're mixing it up. They got naked last week, and now they're splitting it up this time. I appreciate the producers making an effort.
What would you choose? What would you do? I mean, I like this because it's like you want to know who's really greedy and,
Well,
you know.
Okay, so we don't know the rules. We don't know kind of what's associated with this. I feel like if I really hated my partner, I would go for the money by myself.
Really?
I'm trying to think of what couple I think would do that. I mean, maybe.
No,
Camilla
but you.
and
I'm
Tony.
asking you personally. You would
I
take
don't
the
know who
money.
my partner would be. If I had a relationship like Ashley and Corey where it turned into a friendship, I probably wouldn't. I would like say, let's do this together. But if I hated my partner at the end of it, like Jess and Johnny, if they made it to, which they obviously will not ever. But
Johnny would have stolen that money.
he would have taken that
heartbeat.
money right away.
Jessica would have
Exactly.
shared it. She's like 60-40, 60 for you, 40 for me. That's what she. That's what she would have done.
So I don't know. What about you? What do you think you would have done?
I would split it. As
Okay.
greedy as I want to be, regardless of my partner, you don't get to the top without your partner.
That's true.
And I believe in karma. So what goes around
So,
comes around.
comes
If I
around.
split that money, eventually I'm going to get that other half back somehow, some way, if I do another challenge or whatsoever. So that's probably what I would have done.
Okay, I think also in the preview for the rest of the season, they showed some of the challenges that were going on. One of the ones that I saw that would absolutely terrify me was they put them in coffins. Like, that's the one
the buried
thing
alive?
I can't. I don't know how people handle that. Like, heights
Are you
put me in all day. Like, not so much, but if you're gonna put me in an enclosed space like under the ground, absolutely, I will freak out. So I'm gonna be interested to see how people handle that because I think that's terrifying.
I'm trying to think if I would be scared.
Good for you. You probably
I'm
wouldn't
small,
if you don't know it now.
I'm small. I'm like,
You'd
test
have
it.
to
Let's go
move
test
to
it
watch
right
around.
now. No, I'm small, so I think I might be okay. I'm more afraid of the dark. But I'd be like,
It
I'd be
looked kind
more.
of light in there. See, I don't know how that's possible. I feel like it might be a bad combo of both. But yeah, that to me, out of all the challenges they showed a preview of, looked like though. I don't think people are really going to be lit on fire. I'm not sure that was a realistic.
I'm pretty sure that's a stunt.
Yeah, I think that was a stunt man. So yeah, other than that, I think the coffin looked absolutely terrifying.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna have to agree. So I believe that is all we have for tonight. And please, guys, do not forget to tweet us. My name is Paulina Aguilar, and you can find me at _Paulina Aguilar, and on Instagram at Paulina M. Aguilar. Jade, where can they find you?
they can find me at Jade A. Hanson. That's both on Instagram and Twitter. Thanks for watching, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.